Hi, Danielle. Thank you for joining me in another Attuned In series. I'm really excited to have you here, and I know that you have a lot of interesting things to share with us. So, why don't we share with everyone how this conversation came about? Right? When you mentioned it was a little scary to approach me. Definitely, you come with a very unique topic, which I think it's extremely interesting, and I think it will make people to think in different ways.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk to you about my black hair. And that's really, the gist of it. But I came to you because I had a few experiences, both in the workplace, at Dow, and personally, that I thought might be valuable to share.
I remember the first time you reached out to me talking about that. Your hair, and I also, especially when I used to have more hair, my hair was curly as well, so I was able to relate a little. And I found a very interesting topic because it feels almost like everybody wants to talk about it, but it's kind of that territory that no one really knows how to approach it. And I think you had some experiences that sometimes the way that it had been approached, maybe it's not the best way.
Yeah, no, I think that's valuable. And I think providing a little bit of context is very helpful. I know my particular experience is not true of every maybe Black woman's or Black man's hair journey throughout their life. Um, but growing up, my mom had her cosmetology license. And I thought that was really amazing because she had her own hair studio, and it was just really convenient to have a mom who could do hair. She and my dad had three daughters. So not only did she do her own hair, she did my sisters and I's hair. And my sisters and I really experienced this unique level of intimacy with our mom, being that she was really the sole person who cared for our hair. I don't really recall there being anyone else who, was responsible for the care and the health of our hair growing up, besides maybe one other individual. And then growing up in a Black minority neighborhood, community, school, elementary school, preschool, high school, all of that. Um, I didn't find it very odd or uncommon to change my hair frequently, have a new hairstyle, every other week or multiple times a month. It was just a part of our culture. But for my undergrad education, I went to a predominantly white institution. It was almost as if my hair spoke for me before I got a chance to speak for myself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me conscious that I felt like I had to put in an extra effort to present myself in a way that would have to intercept misinformed or, these subconscious biases that people may have around coily and afro textured hair, so that it didn't deter me from my own professional and personal goals.
Is there something that, as you transition from college to the workplace, is there something that happened, or that was mentioned, that it made you feel like you had to make an extra effort, like you were talking about it?
Yeah, I think that there was just some recognition that you would you would see that people, or I would personally see that I would receive a different response, or it be interacted with either more or less, depending on how my hair was. And so if I had my hair like this or an afro, I would have a little bit less interaction. People would just not either talk to me, or it was either a question about specifically, like, oh, okay, your hair is different today. And then if I had a straight hairstyle where I would use a curling iron to straighten my hair completely, or a style that was just a little bit more sleek and like a braid or something like that, I would get compliments. It was, I like your hair today, or that looks really good on you, or, and just being, there was a more positive interaction. And so, picking up on those mild social cues that would come, although they weren't blatant for any reason, they were microaggressions essentially about how someone might perceive or how they felt that I should be treated based on maybe like the style of my hair that time at that time.
How do you think, people should uh, behave or act in a way that they, at the same time, they acknowledge that, they like your hair, but at the same time, it doesn't come across as, judgy or, a kind of a microaggression, like you said.
I think that one of the first things that you kind of have to figure out and learn how to do is taking a pause just before you just act or do something, right? When someone reaches out and touch my hair, it's like impulsive for them. They didn't look at me, think about it, and say, "All right, I'm going to just touch this person's hair." It was just a natural inclination for them. And so, trying to build in those moments where you do take a moment and pause and say, "Am I comparing them to a different version of themselves that I think that I like better?" Right? If I'm comparing that, then that's a moment where I probably just shouldn't say anything at all. Right? If I say, "I like your hair like this," then you're basically implying that all the other ways that my hair has been styled were not something that you approved of. And so having a general positive comment, just saying, "I like your hair," is just positive in general and not comparative.